So it's St. Patrick's Day.
It is.
And you talked to ASU football players earlier this morning. So I have a question for you.
Okay.
Did you go around pinching all the players who didn't wear green?
You know, it's a question that a lot of people want the answer to, and I'm just going to have to plead the fifth on that one. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome into the longest week of our lives here on the PHNX Sun Devils show. Of course, we're coming to you live from Studio K, presented by Circle K. Make sure you join Inner Circle for free by downloading that Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. I'm Anthony Totri, joined as always by my fellow leprechaun. That is, of course, Erik Ruby. We have Captain Redbeard behind the Mac, making all of the magic happen. Do us a solid. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. A lot to get into on this lovely Monday, like you mentioned in the cold open. Got the chance to catch up with some Arizona State Sun Devils. We got some new guys, some returners, transfers, dudes that dealt with injuries, and so much more. You'll be able to hear from them. Get some really interesting football updates with just a couple of weeks before spring football kicks off. And then, of course, in just a little bit, we're going to be joined by ASU hockey coach Greg Powers to discuss a phenomenal weekend for ASU athletics, for just ASU hockey in general. But before we get into all that fun stuff, want to check up and check in on the guys. Captain Redbeard, how are you holding up?
Ship is still sailing smoothly.
Still sailing away,
That's a tough one to say.
Yeah, the
Still
ship
sailing
still
smoothly.
sailing smoothly.
Ship is still
Sally
sailing.
sells seashells by the seashore, where Captain Redbeard is sailing the ship smoothly.
Now do that 3 times.
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So Captain Redbeard's alive. The boat is clearly on course. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm rocking our ALLCITY St. Patty's Day merch. Day drinking champion, but I am stone cold sober right now. But I am still the day drinking champion.
Do you think you could outdrink everybody in this office realistically?
Everybody in this office?
Who would give you the toughest fight?
Shane. In my prime, like
in your
prime Ruby,
okay, calm down.
College Ruby. No, here's the thing. In college, I probably could have, because I was a big boy. I was like,
buddy, there are some drinkers in this office.
I know. I was a big boy in college. Took a lot to get me moving.
Eric a big bum?
I'm washed. Yes, I'm washed now. Give me a glass of wine and I'm knocked out. No,
oh my goodness.
I'm feeling good though. The 24-hour stream looms large.
Oh, baby.
Because that's this week, dude.
Mentally,
Thursday.
I'm not ready.
Can you be ready?
I don't know. I'll be honest. Every night for the last 3 nights before I've gone to bed, I've been thinking about it. Just about like, in about 4 days' time at this hour, we're going to have probably 13 hours left.
I was talking with Megan and I was like, oh yeah, by the way, like you're not going to see me on Thursday. Like I'm going to be gone. And she's like, why? And I'm like, and she just stops herself. She goes, "Oh my God, I forgot." And
I'm convinced one of us might not make it.
One of us
might not
honestly,
make it.
Probably
out.
Me.
If
any one of us is not going to make it,
I think there's going to be a point in the evening where it's just like, I am exhausted. We've been talking for a long time.
We're just going to sit in silence.
We're just going to stare at the camera.
Well, okay. I don't know, because I don't sleep. I just don't sleep. So I feel like I'm pretty well equipped to stay up. I'm gonna go delusional.
I'm not worried about I'm gonna be like, I don't think the sleep thing is gonna be a problem.
I mean, we did our college football playoff selection show on maybe an hour of sleep. Much rougher circumstances.
Yeah, much rougher circumstances for a couple.
That was quite the day.
Yeah, it was certainly the day. But enough about the party that is going to be occurring on Thursday. Again, make sure you're subscribed to PHNX Sports so you can be locked in.
Please watch
for that 24-hour
Don't
stream.
Make us do this for nothing.
Thursday 9 a.m. to Friday 9 a.m. First day of March Madness, going to be a ton of fun, but maybe not as much fun as Arizona State hockey is having right now. My goodness, this past weekend, obviously a big series victory over Minnesota Duluth in some close games too.
Dude, playoff hockey, man.
Gosh.
I mean, just sitting back and enjoying that atmosphere. Like, I wasn't there, obviously, but you can, because there's a Suns game, but you can you can watch these videos, especially Saturday's game, the overtime win.
Yeah.
Where Kerwin scores the goal, and like all of Mullet just erupts. And it's like, man, like, I know that people say hockey belongs in the desert a lot, and I know why, and obviously the Coyotes part of it, but if that's not proof of concept, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
Because this team has the it factor about them.
They do. Not only that, but they're doing it, and they did it all year long in the toughest conference as it relates to college hockey.
In their first year in the toughest
Literally.
conference.
And this team was the 2 seed, I believe, in the NCHC tournament. So to be able to accomplish what you did all season long, to put yourself in the position to host right at Mullet over the weekend, and to get the job done in not only tight games, but games that at one point you were losing, right? To keep Mullet in it that entire time, to get the support from Kenny Dillingham, to get the support from the community, I think just kind of goes to show that Arizona State, I know it feels like in years past, it's always been like jokes online of it's like, oh, Arizona State is a hockey school or is a golf school or is a whatever, right? Like when one sport is really, really good. But I think Arizona State, in all seriousness, is slowly but surely getting to the point where it's like, nah, screw the whole idea that Arizona State is just this or that or this. Arizona State is a university where sports are just, I mean, you come here to be a champion. You come here to compete for the postseason, and it's not just hockey, right? It's hockey, it's football, it's
golf, it's swim and
golf,
dive,
it's wrestling, it's swim and dive, it's so
triathlon,
much, right? There are so many sports that you can compete in at such a high level here.
Hopefully basketball soon.
And to see Arizona State hockey do what they did again, not just a flash in the pan, but to realistically be able to do it and accomplish it all season long, especially doing it after a little bit of an underwhelming season last year, it's been great to see.
Yeah, it's been great to see it. And the coolest thing about it is that it feels sustainable.
Yeah.
Right. And I know the football comparisons always kind of get a little tired and whatnot, but part of the reason why it's sustainable is because of the head coach, who we're going to be talking to in our next segment. And obviously we're going to talk to him about, kind of taking on this mantle for hockey in Arizona and his team. But, going into the series against Minnesota Duluth, they were very confident, and not cocky, but confident. And Minnesota Duluth was a team that played them really well this season. It gave them fits. And I was talking to like Petey, right, over who does, of course, PHNX hockey every once in a while and is doing his own thing. And, he was like, he wasn't worried about it, but he's like, a team like Minnesota Duluth has given this team problems before. And ASU showed up confident, close games, and pulled it out. And now you're taking on next the reigning champions
in Denver,
but the reigning champions that you beat 3 out of 4 times this year. And Sharon, who is just a massive ASU hockey fan, says, all jokes aside, what ASU has done in college hockey world is incredibly impressive. It's not easy to come into these schools deep in hockey tradition and compete with them and beat them. We are making the tradition. We are becoming that school. It's not easy, and it's especially not easy. Like, I know hockey belongs in the desert, but it's different to be doing this in Tempe, Arizona versus in Minnesota, in Colorado, right? In Massachusetts. Like it's different. It's different.
It is different, but it's almost more fun, right?
Oh, it's way more fun.
It's like if there was a college football team in Hawaii that was like just dominating.
Yeah.
Right? It'd be like, this doesn't really makes sense, but
we love it.
But we love it, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly what this is.
But this rocks.
Is Arizona is not necessarily known for hockey, right? When you think hockey, you think cold weather, you think the Minnesotas, you think Colorado, you think Alaska.
Well, you think Zambonis.
You think cold weather climates. You don't think of a beautiful Tempe, Arizona out here in the pretty much the SEC of college hockey, being a 2 seed, getting a sweep after trailing in one of those games 3-0 after the first period, and just be like, casually, we're going to move on. We're going to move on to the next round of the tournament.
You're not celebrating now, and we'll talk to Coach Powers about it, but the job is far from over.
Yeah.
This is not just about being good for a hockey team in the desert. It's about being one of the best damn teams in the country.
Absolutely.
And they're not going to stop until they get there, whether it's this year, next year, a couple years after that, because recruiting has been awesome, and you've seen it pay off this year. And the more that this team wins, the more that people see that they can come to a place like Tempe, where it is 80 degrees today, and
is it 80 degrees?
And play meaningful playoff hockey. That's so impressive.
It is. It really is. And look, one thing that I think is impressive about us is that it's a Monday, and we're us as a collective unit. I think I don't think we get enough credit sometimes. Really? Yeah. Okay. And you just see. I'm taking it somewhere.
Sorry, I'm
okay.
Floored by
what's impressive about us is the fact that it's a Monday. We got a lot to get into, so we are going to change up the show just a tad from our usual, and we're going to go to our first break just a tad early.
Threw me for a loop. I don't know if I'm going to be able to recover later today, and maybe I don't want to drive in the wrong headspace. But luckily, there are so many Waymos in my area. We live basically on the same street. Every time I'm driving into work, I don't know about you, but I see Waymos.
Literally.
Every single time.
On the way to work and on the way home.
Yeah, and that's because they do 150,000 trips per week across San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Phoenix. And when Anthony Totri, Captain Redbeard, Erik Ruby steps into a Waymo, we're stepping into an all-electric Jaguar I-Pace vehicle that's giving a constant zero-emission experience. That's important for me. I care about this earth. I don't want to be giving off emissions, but I also want to get around safely, whether it's spring training, to ASU hockey, to work because Totri threw me off of my mojo, whatever it is. If I'm impaired or not feeling too great, I need to take a Waymo because I can have some me time, some alone time. And all I got to do is download the Waymo One app and ride today, just like over 150,000 people have done per week in San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Phoenix.
I love it. Also, love our friends over at Game Time. Look, March Madness, literally, it's here, ladies and gentlemen, this week. So you're going to need to get some tickets to these college basketball games. Go be a part of the big dance with our friends over at Game Time. Look, they got a new feature called Game Time Picks. Filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets to find the best value. Okay, look, Game Time has helped me, it's helped Eric, it's helped Kyle find tickets to not only sporting events, to concerts, to comedy shows, to so much. So maybe you're not necessarily a sports fan out there. You can go to literally anything with our friends over at Game Time. And the best part about it is if you're a procrastinator like me, like potentially Rubus over here, the deals only get better the longer you wait. So make sure you take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account or deep code PHNX for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you are subscribed to PHNX Sports. Of course, we are going to keep talking hockey. I'm so excited for this.
I'm amped. I'm absolutely amped. Make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe button for the man of the hour, the Sun Devil of the weekend, if you will, Arizona State head hockey coach Greg Powers. We appreciate you taking the time today, Coach.
Fellas, it's great to join you. How are you?
Absolutely fantastic.
Doing great. Before we get into hockey, I got to know, how does it feel to have like maybe the greatest last name in coaching history?
I don't know, but I wouldn't go that far. But
I mean, Powers is it's a powerful last name.
Powers. Yeah, you know, I could have worse. I could have a worse last name. That's fine.
Love it. Look, I also love the AI country music song that another Arizona State coach had put together for the hockey team. Just what was your initial thoughts when you saw that new country hit?
Kenny sent it to me yesterday morning, and I was laughing my ass off. Like he's a beauty. I think his ADHD kicks in on Sundays, and he just sits there with his computer and his headphones on and makes music. And I told him he's got to football's going to work out with him. It already has, but if it didn't, he'd have a future in song making for sure.
Well, I mean, not just with Kenny Dillingham, but with ASU fans and hockey fans in general in the Valley. You guys have taken up this mantle and kind of carried the torch over post Coyotes hockey. I want to know, to you personally, what does that mean? And does that add a little extra pressure?
You know, that pressure is a privilege in every way, you know, and when you're as passionate about this hockey community as I am, you know, and you get the opportunity to take that torch and you know, be the community's team and the market's team, that's an unbelievable pressure that we'll take all day, every day. We're proud to have it, and so far we've delivered, and we feel like we're just getting started. So, you know, if the hockey community and the sports community are starting to gravitate us now, we're only going to continue to get better and better. So the future is really bright.
I know you guys still have so much that you want to accomplish, not only this season and the postseason and really beyond, but for you to see Mullet this past weekend, as loud, as active as it was, to get the wins that you guys did at this time in the tournament, just looking back to when you first got to Arizona State, just what's it like emotionally to see how far this program has come?
Unbelievable. I mean, the amount of texts and messages that I've got, you know, since Saturday, just kind of, you know, reflecting, you know, everybody that's been a part of this ride, like, hey, it's a lot different than Oceanside. Like, and it is, it's been incredible. What a ride this has been. And you could feel the atmosphere at Mullet just kind of doing this as the season went on and on. It's always been really good, but it takes time for fan bases to develop traditions and student sections to develop traditions and chants and all that stuff. And it started to take shape in that Denver weekend where we beat them in overtime on Saturday. And then it carried over to the Western Michigan weekend where it was electric and the fans just were pushing and pushing, and you could feel their energy. And certainly it did in playoffs. It was an unbelievable atmosphere.
Obviously, you mentioned Denver, the reigning national champions. You've beat them 3 times this year, but you're also taking them on next. Is it hard to balance the fact that you're taking on a team that has accomplished so much, but is going to face you with a chip on their shoulder based off of what happened in the regular season?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a huge challenge, you know, and we had success against them this season. We split with them last season, and the game we lost, we had a 3-goal lead. So we feel like we match up really well with how they play. Both teams with a ton of skill, a ton of speed, and, you know, generally, you know, in a playoff game like we're going into on Friday, you know, probably the team that gets the better goaltending is probably going to come out on top. So they're going to be going. We know that they want to go win a trophy this weekend, and they're a program that has more national championship trophies than anybody. They have 10 of them. So a huge challenge ahead, but our guys are ready to embrace it, and I can't wait to see how we do on Friday.
I want to get your thoughts on Ryan Kerwin, who has obviously had such a stellar season. He added to it with an overtime game winner just this past weekend, in maybe the biggest moment that you guys have had all season long. Just what has it meant to you to see the progress that he's made this season, and really what has he brought to the program?
You know, he's brought everything. You know, off the ice, he's one of the best teammates we have in that room. He's a great leader. Comes with a smile on his face every day. He's excited to be here, genuinely having fun. And that's one of our kind of, you know, themes and how we build our culture is if you're having fun, you're playing free. We want our guys to show up to the rink and make that their very best part of their day, and have fun playing the game they love. And I think that goes a long way with a player's success. And Ryan's done that every day. You know, but the challenge that we gave Ryan was he was always known as kind of a gunslinger, a kid that could score goals, was to focus on his play off the puck, focus on his defensive play, and make him understand that all those things, when you do all those other things really well, he has the talent and the ability to layer onto those things and really become a complete player to help us win games. And then obviously, you know, raise his stock, his free agent stock to hopefully get an NHL contract. And he's done that. He's done everything. He plays the right way. He's killing penalties now, which he's never done in his career. He's a kid that I trust in literally every situation. He's out on the ice 5-on-6 at the end of games to ice games for us. And we're just thrilled we were able to get him for a year.
You don't need me to tell you, but there is a lot on the line, possibly 1 to 2 wins away from an NCAA tournament spot. One of our diehards, William, wants to know, what's the mindset in the locker room knowing that there is a lot on the line coming up?
Yeah, I mean, for us, really the past month, it's been playoff hockey, right? Whether it was coasting Western Michigan, going on the road in a really tough environment at Omaha and getting a win there, and then obviously playing playoffs here. So, now we're at the point where we just can continue to remind our guys, like, hey, especially the seniors and the guys that have been here and the guys that don't have any eligibility left, every time you put on the jersey now, you're maybe putting it on for the last time. So just play like it. And if you play like it and you leave everything you have out there, we believe we have the team that'll take care of itself if they do that. And if it doesn't, and we don't get the result we want, at least you can say you did that. But we have a lot on the line. There's no doubt about it. There's a pathway for us to still get in with a win. And certainly right now, all we're focused on is going up there and winning the trophy and just taking care of it on our own completely.
I know you, like you just said, are so focused on getting the trophy and really taking this team as far as it will possibly go, not just in this tournament, but beyond that. Do you feel like this team has accomplished enough and is worthy of an at-large bid if things didn't go the right way for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we do, and unfortunately, my opinion doesn't count. It's the Pairwise's opinion. But every other year in the history of the NCHC, the second seed has been a lock for the tournament, and so not only are we a 2 seed and make the frozen face-off, but we're still fighting to get in. The computer has loved Hockey East all year. It's really the first time that it's been that way in the NCHC. Hasn't been, but the non-league RPI, Miami struggles and has the season that they had in a rebuild year. It hurts our league, and then you have situations like Augustana sweeping CC and Omaha on the road, and that brings down a conference's RPI. So it's I think it's good information for Sun Devil hockey fans that in preseason or pre-conference season, out of conference play, we always want to cheer for teams in our league because it brings up our league RPI, and that's why Hockey East is so high this year, because they had a hell of a non-conference slate.
One of the things that I think resonates with ASU fans with you is that you could tell that it's a genuine care and interest and investment, not just in the kids and the players, but in the community in Arizona State. You mentioned putting on that jersey before. What do those colors, what does that logo, what does that jersey mean to Coach Powers?
It means everything. I'm lucky enough to do this as a career now, but when I started, it wasn't for money. It wasn't for anything other than just helping young men become men and loving the university and institution at the club level that brought me out to Arizona from Indiana when I was just a high school senior. So it was about giving back, and it's developed into a career for me. And I'm incredibly fortunate that I'm able to support my family doing what I love and my passion. And my passion isn't just the game. It's Arizona State. It's Arizona State hockey. It's this institution. It's everything that it stands for, everything that I always knew this place could become. And just like every other diehard fan that listens to you guys, had season tickets to football back when, Sam Keller and Rudy Carpenter were our quarterback. And I was on the field when we beat Nebraska 19-0 in 1996 and snapped their win streak. And I was one of the guys on the goalpost pulling it down, going down to Mill Avenue, carrying it down Mill Avenue.
We got to find that photo somewhere.
Need the photo.
Got to be somewhere. But I love this place, and now it's becoming what people that genuinely love it always knew it could become, not just the hockey program, but what Kenny's doing with football, what I'm convinced Willie's going to continue to do with baseball as he builds that up, and everybody here. Matt Thurman's an unbelievable coach with the golf, Missy, both alums, Zeke with wrestling. So, we're just in a great place, led by a true Sun Devil in Graham, who really feels about this place like what I do. He just loves Arizona State, and we're very lucky to be able to work for the institution that we love so much.
It's definitely been a great time for Arizona State fans over the last year, but it has certainly been a little bit more difficult, I think, for just Arizona hockey fans, right, over the course of the last 18 months or so. When you hear the phrase or the words "hockey belongs in the desert," What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's for me, it's like, I mean, I love it. I love that people are passionate about proving that it does. For me, it's just, we've already proven that it does. I mean, you look at, some of the elite world-class players that are from here now playing at the highest level in the world and excelling as much as not, if not more than anybody, and Austin Matthews and Matthew Nyes, and, there's a bunch of them. But for me, it's just, it's never because I'm so in the trenches in this hockey community, it's never been a market issue, right? It's a great hockey market. We have transplants from all over the world that love this sport. And in my opinion, supply doesn't meet demand. We need more ice sheets here because there's not enough ice to provide to all the kids that want to play this game. And you got kids practicing at 10 p.m. and adult leagues playing at midnight because there's not enough ice. So we got to continue to grow this thing, and we will. But the NHL failing here was not a market issue. And that's why I think the NHL was so staunch on keeping it and trying to make it work. It was an ownership issue. Let's be flat out, straight up honest. It was an ownership issue in every way. So, when it comes back, and I'm convinced that it will come back, I know that the National Hockey League is going to find an owner that does it the right way, that builds the arena in the right place in the valley, and make sure that it's going to be successful. It's not going to fail again.
Yeah, you can say the ownership thing about 100 times. I'm going to nod my head in agreement 1,000,000 times alongside with it. Last one from me. If you could sum up the essence of Sun Devil hockey in just a couple of sentences, what would that be?
I think it's just one of our core values is passion. That's the biggest thing is we want our players and our staff and anyone that touches this program to love what they do, love who they do it with, and love what they do it for, right? If you do those things and you're passionate, truly, genuinely passionate about what you do every day, and most importantly, love who you do it with, you're going to be that much better at what you do. Doesn't matter what it is. It's not just about hockey or football. It could be business. It could be family. It could be anything you do in your life. If you just apply passion, I think you're going to be successful. I think passion will always trump logic, and that's what our program really has been founded on.
Ooh, I love that. I love that.
Passion will trump logic.
Well,
I like that.
That's definitely good stuff. Look, we got a lot of Arizona State hockey diehards in the chat that have been in the YouTube chat for weeks now saying, talk hockey. And they've been all over social media, and they're just so amped about what you guys have accomplished and hopefully will still accomplish throughout the course of the rest of the postseason. Do you have a message to just Sun Devil hockey fans, whether that be about the season, about what's ahead, or really just anything at all?
Yeah, hey, our fans and supporters are helping us build this program, and kids see videos of the way Mullet rocks when we score an overtime goal in the playoffs or whatever the situation is throughout the course of the last 3 years here at Mullet, and they're helping us develop this. Our mantra is be the tradition, and so we're all about setting standards and doing things here that have never been done before. And now our fans are a part of that in every way, and they're helping set the standard to the best environment in college hockey, which we believe we have. And I've said it 1,000,000 times. We feel like, obviously Chapter 2 of the program started this year, but it really does feel like we're just getting started. Now we have everything. We have the fan base, we have the arena, we have the facilities, we have the staff. We're in the best league in college hockey. All the boxes are checked, and people that have been with us and stood by us for so long are starting to see the culmination of all that hard work take shape, and off we go.
Coach, well, I think I speak for everybody in here and a lot of the fans in the chat right now that say they've got 100% confidence in Arizona State and you moving forward this week. We appreciate you taking the time, and of course, best of luck against Denver, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you having me on. We'll do it again.
Absolutely.
Always. My goodness.
I'm ready to run through a wall.
I know.
Are you kidding me?
I know. It's good stuff. It's really good stuff. Coach Powers, and like he said, it's not just an ASU hockey thing, right? There are so many sports at Arizona State, kind of like we had discussed in that first segment, that are really, like, they're building something. Like Sharon said in the chat, or Foolish, somebody in the chat said that these coaches are building empires.
Yeah.
Right? They're building legit dynasties at Arizona State that are going to be so much fun to keep up with and watch and root for and support over the course of the next, hopefully, decade.
And so keep supporting. If you're on the fence about supporting Arizona State hockey, watching their games, you feel like you don't know enough. You don't need to know a lot to enjoy it. You can feel the energy. You can see the passion. You can see the excitement. If you're hesitating, don't. Get in there. Support. If you're in our Die Hard Discord, talk about it. Learn about it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
There's just so much more fun to be had, but
of course,
we do have to take a quick break.
Speaking of fun that could be had, you can just sit back, watch a little ASU hockey.
Here we go.
And pop in a nice pure edible, founded in Arizona and available at 130 dispensaries statewide. Let me tell you my personal favorite thing about pure edibles is that you know exactly how you're going to feel when you take them. And for those of you who have dabbled in edibles and maybe have not had the best experience, you know it's because something hit you that you didn't know was going to hit you. You thought you were going to feel one way, and you felt another way. You thought you took the right amount, and you didn't take the right amount. And Pure makes sure that you can check every single box so that you have the best experience for you. On their tin, they're going to tell you exactly how you feel: relaxed, sleepy, uplifted, balanced, whatever it might be. It's going to be clearly labeled, not any vague language on there. Plus, easy to rip apart, easy to bite in half, easy to dial in your exact dose, which is the most important thing when it comes to edibles. So go find yourself some Pure Edibles products from one of the over 130 dispensaries in Arizona.
Look, I don't know about you, but something really, really important to me, pretty much a New Year's resolution in 2025, has been to save as much money as I possibly can, right? The economy's tough. Things are expensive. Eggs are like $1 million at this point. I'm a big egg guy. But to help me save money every single day so I can afford eggs, Circle K's Inner Circle free membership. That's right. Free rewards, free pretty much. I'm not going to say everything, but a lot of free deals that they have over at Circle K. If you sign up to become an Inner Circle member, just go to the App Store, download the app, enter your email and phone number, and boom, you are going to be enrolled. Next time you pull up to the pump, type in your phone number, and you're going to start cashing in on those deals. What deals, you may ask? Well, how about 25 cents off on your first 5 fill-ups? That is 25 cents off per gallon. Not to mention you get 3 cents per gallon off every single day after that, guys. Make sure you join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details.
We just want to run back that interview, just watch it back.
Let's do it. Yeah. I'm down.
I mean, that was electric stuff.
Captain Redbeard, is that a capability that could even be had right now? Probably not.
If anybody
let me do some beeping and booping.
Some beeping and booping. Is that what you do back there?
Beeping and booping.
Yeah, he's Captain Redbeard. He just beeps and boops behind the Mac.
Captain Redbeard beeping and booping
behind the Mac,
making all the beeps and the boops happen.
Oh my goodness, Captain! I don't know if you realize what you have just done.
This is like when I give myself a bad nickname.
Yeah, which you do a lot, actually.
Yeah, you know what's really funny I noticed? On the Suns show, I have no nickname. I have one nickname.
No nicknames?
I have one nickname.
Rubus?
No.
Oh, no.
It's the left-hand stuff. Those who know.
It's, what is it? They call him something paper, right?
What is it? White noise?
Yeah, white noise. There we go.
So I had them all like last year, but it's, people don't like call me that. And so it's like, when I'm here, it's like the 15 different nicknames. It's like an ASU thing, it feels like.
Yeah, no, it's what we do.
Nobody's out calling me old dog legs.
Old dog legs. We haven't called you old dog legs in a minute.
What's the one that we haven't said in the longest?
Probably Professor Oates.
Yeah, I like that one too.
It's been a while since we've hit that one. Sharon in the chat saying, if I tune in at 3 a.m. and Totri is napping, I will not be napping as much as I really, really, really will want to be napping at that time. But you're just going to have to tune in at 3 o'clock in the morning on Friday morning to find out.
I'm expecting people to watch the entire 24 hours.
I hope so. At least have it on in the background, guys.
Yeah,
help us out here.
You don't need to be like staring, but like you might be in work or whatever. Listen.
All of the things. Please do it,
You
guys.
never know what we might say. You never know what we might do.
Yeah.
We might shout you out.
Lots of things.
We might give away $1 million.
Might give away a car.
We might give away a lot of things. Maybe.
A day with Erik Ruby?
Okay. Oh. More valuable than
oh my goodness.
More valuable than $1 million.
You know what's more valuable than $1 million?
What?
The Jordyn Tyson collarbone. That is what is, at least to me.
NIL-wise?
At least to me, that is what is valuable. Look, we kicked off the show telling everybody that I was out over at the Arizona State facilities today. I had the chance to speak to Jordyn Tyson, Jalen Klemm, Keyshaun, Elliott, Kanye Udoh, a number of Arizona State Sun Devils out there. Yeah, I refuse to tell you. There were some discussions that were definitely had off camera, off that you and I will discuss
pinching.
About all sorts of things, about chains, pinching, injuries, all sorts of super fun stuff. But we did get a ton of stuff on camera that we actually can show you. And I know there are a bunch of Arizona State fans that over the offseason, you had 2 players, I would say, that if you had to pick, you wanted, you needed, you craved to come back and play in a maroon and gold jersey. One being QB1 Sam Leavitt, and the other being his favorite weapon, wide receiver Jordyn Tyson. Both are back at Arizona State. Jordyn Tyson is cleared for spring football, so he'll be out there as soon as things kick off here in just a couple of days, couple of weeks at this point. But this is what Jordyn Tyson had to say in regards to his collarbone recovery, just in terms of how it compared to his knee injury.
It helps 1,000%. Just being through that adversity already, just knowing what to do. I had problems with my range of motion on my knee. I made sure that didn't happen with my shoulder. So just learning from my mistakes and being better from it.
I think it's interesting for a guy that dealt with such a severe knee injury coming out of pretty much his freshman year at Colorado and being able to recover. And then he goes through another, pretty gruesome injury, right? A collarbone injury is nothing, and not just a while, but just through important moments, right? For him, for this program, etc. So to hear the fact that he's growing as a player and kind of learning from each one of these experiences, right? Saying, I had problems with range of motion in my knee when I had that injury. And then he's like, okay, I really wanted to focus on making sure that I was doing the right things, taking the right steps to make sure that I wasn't having those same issues with my collarbone, with my shoulder, et cetera. I think that just kind of shows where his mindset is with the entire thing. It could be very easy for somebody to go through an injury like that and just be like, it's, we're gonna half-ass it. We're gonna half-ass it.
Yeah, but I think, and he also knows kind of what's at stake. I think when you sit on the sideline and you watch a team that, I don't think that it's not crossed Jordyn Tyson's mind that if he was available, this team might have made a run in the college football playoffs. I think you could clearly say, like we say, if Shamari Simmons played the full game, ASU beats Texas. If Jordyn Tyson plays that game, Arizona State beats Texas. Yeah. Right? That's something that that he holds very heavily. And having already overcome a very different injury, but I would say a much more gruesome injury in that lower body one. Not to take anything away from the collarbone at all, especially for a wide receiver. That's a big thing to injure, but that mental hurdle is so much higher when you haven't already jumped over it. Yeah. Right? 100%. And he has taken a more brutal injury, taken a longer road to recovery, switched schools, sat out a season, came in with a quarterback that he wasn't familiar with, and basically
who was just a wee lad
in a new system, and grew over the season and proved that he could be the second best wide receiver in the Big 12 behind somebody who's probably going to go in the top 15, maybe top 10 of the draft this year in Tetairoa McMillan. Right? That's a big mental hurdle to jump and to say, okay, I got a lot of time to get into this.
Yeah. Hunter's Zone in the chat. We should watch Ruby make a March Madness bracket live during 24-hour stream.
Well, the March Madness will start.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we start at 9, and I think the first game, I could be wrong, starts at 9:15.
Yeah, that I'll do a speed run. I'll do a speed run bracket. I think we are going to be doing a Die Hard and PHNX employee bracket. So make sure that you keep your eyes out for that if you are a Die Hard.
I can't wait to beat all of you.
I'm taking the Zips.
I will beat all of you.
I'm going all the way.
The Zips, huh?
Yeah, Akron. By the way, I'm just say this.
Here we go.
I was in the office when the U of A guys were doing
it straight off the football conversation.
Sorry. When the U of A guys were doing their bracket reveal, and I love those guys, and I'm rooting for them. Personally.
Do you love them?
Absolutely.
Okay, I hate
their school.
Yeah,
their
school sucks.
I like them personally, and they were celebrating and just relieved that they didn't get Yale, which is so weak. So weak that you're afraid of an Ivy League school. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking basketball before somebody goes, "Oh, we build ASU."
No, it's okay. It's okay. Look, not everybody can win a conference championship in their first year. It's okay. It's a tough task. Arizona, just maybe you'll get them next year.
Probably not.
Probably not, but
maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go back to the conference championship winning football team.
Yeah, that's fair. Look, this team not only is getting Tyson back, Sam Leavitt, a bunch of new toys and new weapons offensively and defensively, but they're getting a guy back who didn't play at all last season, and there was concern that he wasn't going to play at Arizona State really at all. And that is offensive lineman Jalen Klemm. Jalen Klemm, the Washington transfer from a couple years back, dealt with some personal stuff and missed the entirety of last season. Found out just a couple of weeks, I believe, before fall camp, kind of what he was dealing with. He was asked about it today, just in terms of if he wanted to share why he was out. He decided that he was going to keep all of that information personal. It sounds like it was something pretty severe, but since then has recovered from the situation. He is all set. He is cleared to play football for Arizona State. Will be out there when spring football kicks off, so that's definitely some good news. But when you go through something like that, I feel like your mind can kind of go all over the place, right? Am I ever going to play football again? How do I recover from this, etc., right? So this is what Jalen Klemm had to say. He learned from this past experience.
It just makes you, that much more grateful for the opportunity. I think, sometimes it's easy to take what you have for granted, especially just having played football for so long. And, I talked about it a little bit with, some of my teammates. Like, everybody always talks about how you can lose everything just like that. And you kind of think it's a cliche until it happens to you. And so it kind of just changes, your perspective on things, where you come in, you got, a hard workout and you're not feeling too good and you're complaining. It's kind of like, man, at least I get to be here type thing. And so, that was one lesson that I really learned from kind of, the adversity that I went through. But, I'm excited about that for sure.
I think being on Arizona State, specifically having to go through a year where you're away from football like Jalen Klemm did, and obviously, like you mentioned, we don't know the circumstances surrounding that, but think about like Xavier Alford, right? Who
he was asked about that too.
Yeah, who's gone for a year, right? Or Jordyn Tyson, who just and being around those guys and seeing what they did when they came back and the type of impact they had, he could be the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, this dude was on the best offensive line in college football for the Huskies.
Yeah, just 2 years ago.
Like playing on the biggest stage and stepping up in the biggest stage, right? Like going into last season, he was an integral part of why we thought they'd be better. And now you're taking that guy who's going to be hungry and motivated and focused, and now like a weight lifted off your shoulders because you realize like, okay, like I've gotten to the other side of this. This is now my opportunity. I'm sure he has sights set on the league. I'm sure he wants to he wants to be the type of guy that
his dad was in the league.
Is the most dominant offensive lineman in the Big 12 and in college football. And he got to taste what it was like to not be like that. And you never want that to happen, and you feel for him on whatever did happen, but that can give you a lot of motivation and perspective. And that's the reason why Kenny wants to recruit all the right guys.
Yeah.
Because they have the right responses to adversity like this. I have full faith that Jalen Klemm, when he plays this year, is going to be somebody who helps Arizona State keep that mantle of the best team in the Big 12.
I'm really, really interested to see this offensive line competition when spring football starts, right? Because going into the offseason, after the first wave of transfer portal stuff, we're like, okay, looking at the offensive line, you're like, okay, Leaf's the only one leaving, and he's only doing it because of eligibility reasons. You got 4 of the 5 starting offensive linemen for a team that won the Big 12 returning. And now we're talking about potentially shuffling things around because now you got Jalen Klemm. Okay, well, he was projected to be probably a starting left or right tackle when he first got here. You add Jameto Abigbo from Texas State. We talked to him today. They're working him at the left guard position, right? Which naturally was where Ben Coleman was going to be at.
But now Ben Coleman
center, right? So like, what is this offensive line going to look like from left to right? Are you going to have
Sean Na, who was getting all sorts of praise at this point last
Champ
year?
Westbrooks is up to 290 pounds. He was a freshman last year, right? Yeah. We're both about 290 pounds, maybe combined. So you've got those guys. You have Mad Max. You've got so many. You still got Josh Atkins. Like there are so many pieces that could shuffle around this offensive line. I'm really, really interested to see where they opt to go, especially with Coleman being at center. I don't expect that to change. You have Kyle Scott probably at right guard. You probably have a Big Bo at left guard. And then the tackles are going to be the big questions.
Well, and we're not going to know. I remember they made a pretty big shift on the offensive line like a week and a half.
Not even like literally a week.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, Emmett is starting at left tackle, and then boom, Josh Atkins rolls out there.
And it's like, it worked. Like it worked out fine. And I think the depth is going to be massive as well. And I mean, you saw some of the tight ends out there today.
Dude.
Some big
brother.
boys.
AJ Aya is gigantic.
I'm really high on his long-term
What
potential.
is he listed at? What is AJ listed at? Because whatever it is, it's not tall enough. He has got to be
6'6", 218.
Yeah, he's 6'6" for sure.
Oh, sorry, that was on 24/7. Sun Devil Athletics has him 6'6", 240.
Yeah, he looks about that weight.
I mean, 6'6", 240.
I will say,
and if you watch his tape, not to like when we were watching his high school tape, like that dude can move.
He can play ball, dude.
Like he is he's not just fast. Like he's fast for his size. No, he's like fast and fluid.
He is every inch of 6'6". There are people, and I'm a big believer that these sites sometimes, right? The university sites will sometimes give these guys an inch, give them 5-10 pounds. AJ is 100% 6'6". Saw Jaden Fortier out there. He's 100%. He's doing a lot better, obviously, in his recovery from his ACL a couple years back. He is gigantic, right? So you have these two tight ends that are both, I mean, they're pups at this point.
But they're huge.
They're gigantic. They're both like 6'5", 6'6".
And it's not even spring ball yet.
No, and then you've got Shaman and you've got Kamari, you've got
Harpool.
You've got a tight end room that is just literally gigantic. So then you do that, you put them next to guys like a Jalen Klemm, and you move them outside. Like, there's such mismatches, right? There's not a nickel corner in college football that you could stick on a 6'6" tight end and feel like you have a good chance.
Well, right. And then it's not only just the blocking part of it as well, but it's like, hey man, like Sam Levitt found Shaman really, really, really often.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he still will, but he was really the only like pass catching threat out of that tight end room. Now you're going to add a couple more like layers to this offense. Like that's going to,
I'm telling you, dude.
Look at us. Oh man, I'm talking ball. Spring football, man.
When you guys go out to spring football, just AJ, just look for him, dude, because he is.
I won't have to. I'll find.
He's a giraffe.
He'll stand out
there.
I mean, 6'6" is massive.
It's just slightly smaller than I am. You could not even really tell.
Yeah,
he's just
that's
a
like
unit.
Two of you stacked on top of each other. I think it's time.
I think Rubis wants to do the rest of this show by his lonesome.
I think it's time that we hit our final break. I'm hungry.
Yeah?
I'll be honest with you. I'm hungry.
Call the pizza man.
I mean, I would love some Spinatos right now. Are you kidding me? Oh, gosh. The sauce.
I put down some Spinatos last week.
I know you did. We both did.
We did.
Who do you think ate more Spinatos last week?
Ooh, I honestly think I think we probably tied.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think I hit double-digit pieces.
Yeah, I know I put down half a pizza.
What's your favorite pie?
The red zone. Ooh. The red zone that they have is by far. I love the little peppers on it. Just give me a little kick.
Okay, we have to stop. It's so good.
I don't have lunch today, but that sounds marvelous.
I need my Spinatos. And it's also the place to be for Suns fans if there are any of those left. But we are actually having a watch party. PHNX Suns is out at Spinatos on March 28th. Go to gophnx.com/events for your details on that. Plus, they have other watch parties. They give away Suns tickets, gift certificates, and more exciting prizes. They have basketball contests, and for more info on all of that, go to SpinatosPizzeria.com. Spinatos, the official pizza of the Phoenix Suns and this podcast.
It's March, which means it's the month of college basketball, which also means it's the month to make money on college basketball, and you could do that over at the BetMGM Sportsbooks with our friends at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Make sure you catch all of the March Madness action at those sportsbooks. They've got a perfect setup for every fan. Now, they've got some reserve seating at Wild Horse Pass and Santan Mountain, and make sure you enjoy the excitement with open seating at Lone Butte and V Cueva. Bet on the madness and experience the thrill that Gila River Resorts Casinos has to offer. If you're there to make money, do it. If you're there for a staycation, do it. If you're there to dine at one of their phenomenal restaurants, do that as well. But always keep in mind that you do you at Gila River Resorts Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details. Hit the like button.
Do it.
Hit the subscribe button.
Also that.
Drop a 5-star review.
Why not?
Wherever you get your podcast, yeah.
And make sure 9 a.m. Thursday, you're locked in.
I'm going to be so tired.
Yeah.
I'm going to be...
What time are you going to bed Wednesday night?
Ooh, that's a good question. What time am I trying to go to bed? And does going to bed mean be asleep or like lay in bed?
Like asleep.
I would love to be asleep by 9 p.m.
You know what's awesome?
Suns game the night before.
7 p.m. tip-off.
You have fun. At halftime, I will be cuddled up in my bed, honk shoeing.
Maybe I won't make it. Maybe I won't make it.
Captain Redbeard, what time do you hope to be asleep? You've got a busy day Wednesday, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah, and Friday. Captain Redbeard, man, he's going to be beep booping a lot. Yeah, a lot.
A what?
A lot.
Beeping, booping a lot.
He's beeping and booping a lot. Sometimes words escape me, man. Is that okay?
It's kind of your job for that not to happen.
So, Keyshaun Elliott.
Yeah.
Keyshaun Elliott, he's back at Arizona State, one of the many returning defensive starters for Kenny Dillingham's Sun Devils. Obviously, a lot of veterans, but still a good chunk of transfers and new guys as well. This is what Keyshaun Elliott has been up to over the offseason, and his focus is really hammering home the culture for some of these new guys.
Working really, there's a couple new faces around, new guys trying to learn the culture. So, for us, especially in the leadership council, kind of, teach them the culture, what we have going on, what our goals are. The past is gone, nothing that we did last year matters.
And, that's the type of thing that Kenny was talking about at the beginning of last year. It was like, now we have guys who are carrying over and carrying that culture. And if you watch them, like the weightlifting videos and stuff they're doing in the offseason, it's what they want to do. They don't have to be told to do that. And listen, like Keyshawn's the type of guy that going into this year, like this is I'm proving myself to be drafted this year. And I definitely think that he could. And I was saying that going into last year too. But him saying, oh, well, I'm more focused on making sure everybody around me, making sure the culture, making sure us as a collective unit is ready. And he knows that in turn is going to lift him up.
Who do you think on this team, just we can rapid fire him if you want, has the potential to be drafted next year?
Sam Levitt, Jordyn Tyson, Keyshaun Elliott. Well, I got to know some available. Like, I got to look at the roster because
TJ Fight.
Oh, dude, that's so weird. Like that he wasn't already like a senior. Like it feels like he's been around in the most complimentary way possible.
Xavier Alford.
Alford, yes, for sure. Klemm,
I think there's potential. Yeah. Ben Coleman.
Yeah, Coleman for sure. Cyrus is too small. I mean, I would love, obviously.
So what, 7?
I mean, but I think that's underrating it. I think we're definitely missing some.
I think 7 is a good number because I think realistically...
That are trying to get drafted?
No, I mean, they all realistically, I talked to probably 12 today. I'm sure every single one of them would want to be drafted. But like,
well, yeah, want to be, yeah.
It's... But I don't... Has Arizona State ever had 7 players drafted?
I don't know. It's a lot.
In a year? Probably not.
That's a lot.
So it would be... They're on pace for a special year. I was talking to some media out there today and heard just like early rumblings of like, oh, what's a good season look like, right? And I heard a 9-3 would be... I'll tell you what a good season is a solid season.
Winning the damn Big 12 again.
Yeah.
That's your... whether you like it or not, like that's the expectation going into next year. You return most of your team. You have maybe the best quarterback in college football. You have maybe a top 2, top 3 wide receiver in college football.
Top 3.
Like you have...
Definitely not top 2.
You have a returning offensive line. You have basically your entire defense returning. You have a great transfer class. Like, yeah, you're missing Cam Scadaboo, but like...
And Kanye Udoh is big too, man.
Like this is...
He's very tall.
ASU going 9-3 or better, and they'll have 7 guys. Like 9-3, I feel like is like anything lower than 9-3, I would consider a disappointment. That's where we are. That's where we are. Anything lower than competing and/or being in the Big 12 championship and then going on to like win, like that's the expectation, man. Like that is 100% what your standard should be.
Yes, but I don't know if I'd be disappointed. I think the worst that I would take in terms of like, that's fine. I'd take 8-4.
Depends on the 8-4.
I want, obviously you want so much more than that, right? I think this team has potential to be undefeated through Big 12 play. They genuinely do.
I mean, I think they have a favorable schedule.
They do. I would agree. I think they do have an absolutely favorable schedule.
I mean, what is this team going to be ranked going into the year?
15 at worst.
Like competing for the Big 12 championship, being in the Big 12 championship.
They're betting favorites to win the conference.
Like,
so
you gotta. Here's the thing: if you want to be recognized as having staying power, like everybody's going to look to poke and prod and pull you apart and to say that you are not legit. You need to go in here and like you have to dominate.
You do.
You have to prove that this was not a one-year thing and not a fluke at all. You won a lot of close games last year, a lot. You don't need to just win; you need to dominate. Fire me.
You heard it here first. Go dominate. And look, we've already talked about some of the returners that Arizona State is going to hopefully dominate with, but we did get the chance to talk to some incoming transfers as well. Texas State offensive line transfer, Jameto Obigbo, is one of those guys. I'll tell you what, Obigbo is definitely a big boy. He has got the longest wingspan of anyone in that offensive line room. He is an absolute unit of a player. Like I said, he was at Texas State last year. However, he didn't suit up for the Texas State Bobcats, right?
Yep.
Didn't suit up for the Bobcats when Arizona State came to town. He was still recovering from a torn Achilles that he had in February. But he's 100% healthy now. He's pretty much 100% healthy by the end of Texas State's season. But this is what Obigbo said he saw from the Sun Devils when they came to town.
Just how I must fight, because Texas State came out with that lead, but Arizona State came back and finished. I could tell just being here, you could see how why it happened during the year, just coming back, never out the game when you think you're out the game. So yeah.
I love that it wasn't something like physical or about an individual player, right? It wasn't like, oh, I noticed how fast they are. Or I noticed how big they are, strong. I love the fact that he chose the words fight.
Yeah.
Right. I loved that he was
maybe he was talking about CJ.
Yeah, that's true. I guess that could be true. Just being on the sideline, watching your team compete against a road team, a team that, again, was picked to finish last, and you just noticed the fight of a hungry team. And that game was a dogfight, absolutely, from start to finish.
Texas State, man, that was a team that worried me. Once we got through the first quarter, Ishmael Made, and
gosh,
who's now a Wildcat,
he is a Wildcat.
Blech.
Poor guy.
Blech.
I would have loved for him to be at Arizona State.
Yeah, but I'm very happy.
Yeah, I'm
Kanye.
very happy.
I think Kanye. I would 100% choose Kanye over Ishmael Made.
Yeah, we can clip that, by the way, and
please
just tweet it out there as if you're talking about another Kanye.
Yeah, I think that's the type of thing that people saw in ASU all year. You saw it against Texas State. You saw it in all their comeback wins throughout the season. You saw it in the college football playoffs before they got screwed. This is a team that doesn't give up, and that's not, like you mentioned, an individual player thing. That's a culture thing. And if you as a player gravitate towards that, I'm so happy that he's here.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Love that Obigbo's here. Love that, realistically, all of the transfers are here, including Michael Gardner, defensive lineman transferring over from Oregon. From the Valley, he said today, he was asked pretty much point blank, did you ever consider Arizona State while you were in high school? He said, nope. I had the schools that realistically I wanted to go to. So why? Why choose Arizona State in the transfer portal? This was his answer.
I feel like watching the players play, especially at D-line, they just look free. They don't look like they have to worry about much. Like they're playing real fast and just free, ready to stop and run, rush the pass, whatever needed.
I think just the fact that when this guy was in high school, not even on the radar, and now he has his choice to transfer and to go really anywhere. And he's like, I'm coming home. I'm coming to Arizona State.
I'm coming home.
And that's what Kenny said. It's like, listen, man, we're going to treat everybody with respect. If they don't want to come here at the beginning, that's fine. You might want to find your way back here. And if he finds success here, that's going to open up the path for a lot of guys who went to different places.
It's about maintaining those relationships. And Kenny has said that. And that's, I think, what you can really take away from seeing Dillingham and this coaching staff, the way that they approach those relationships on social media, behind closed doors, in living rooms, doing those things and having those types of conversations, even for guys that don't initially commit to Arizona State, right? Because Kenny was at Oregon when Gardner first got there as a recruit. He had mentioned talking to Kenny. And then he knew by the time he entered the transfer portal where he wanted to go, and it just so happened to be here at Arizona State. Of
course.
So that's obviously huge for the Sun Devils. Again, spring football right around the corner, of course. We're going to be your one-stop shop for all things Sun Devils. So make sure you hit the like button on your way out. Hit the subscribe button. Drop a 5-star review. If you haven't already, for everybody on audio, come on now. Help us out here. Thursday, 9 a.m., the fun begins, and it doesn't end until Friday, 9 a.m., and then the fun will certainly end at that point. And I've said it before, after Friday, I don't want to talk to either one of you until Monday. I think that's only fair for all of our sanity. How do we feel about that? We're good on that?
Yeah, let's just hope there's no breaking news.
Captain Beep Boop Bop, you good on that?
Beeping and booping, bopping and lopping.
Yep.
Love it. Love it. Guys, that is going to do it for today's episode of the PHNX Sun Devil Show. If you enjoyed the content. Give us a follow on social at PHNX _Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony _Totri. You could follow my fellow leprechaun here at Erik Ruby. That is Erik with a K. You could follow Captain Redbeard, who's just beep booping behind the Mac as always at K Coop Sports. And we will see you guys on Tuesday, same time, same place. But in the meantime, go Devils. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.